जोरदार करताली दे स्वागत करिबा one and only Mr. Arnab Goswami. And the session is based on media's role in India's development story, which will be moderated by Litisa Mangat Panda, Business Head News and Digital. Can we have Litisa? She is already there. Over to you, Litisa, to take the session forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we're here to discuss India's development when we talk about Vikasit Bharat 2047. Right? A lot of times, sir, I think we forget that Vikasit Bharat can come from its states. And we also forget that media is not only a machine which generates TRP, but also shapes the nation's idea. And who better to discuss this with than the man himself who turned a statement into a thought nation wants to know. So welcome, sir. It's an honor to be here talking to you.
Thank you, Letitia. Thank you.
So when we were discussing to doing this event in Delhi, I honestly was having a little bit of a FOMO. For people who don't know, it's fear of missing out. So the entire reason behind this is, a lot of times I feel that Odisha is a state which is a constant victim of out of sight, out of mind. And while I remember a lot of times Republic Network sort of focusing on a lot of states, national media somehow forgets that Odisha even exists. Even cyclones happen in Bengal, like not in Odisha. Even illegal immigrants is an issue only in Bengal and not in Odisha. Even, I mean, that's a fact that even Rasgulla is no longer ours. But which brings me to my first question, is that what role does a national media play, and why do you think states like Odisha get sidelined in the national conversation?
Thank you, Letitia. I come from Assam, so I am, as they say, Khati Ahomia. People mistake me for being Bengali, but I am from Guwahati. I've grown up all over the country, and every time I used to go back home, I used to meet my grandfather a lot. I was very influenced by my maternal grandfather. His name is Gaurishankar Bhattacharya. He was many times Sahitya Academy winner. He was one of the founders of the Undivided Communist Party of India. Little senior to Jyoti Basu. And he wrote a book called Assam, the Epitome of India. He wrote 29 books in his lifetime. He was leader of the opposition in Assam for almost 15-20 years. And he wrote a book called Assam, the Epitome of India. And we used to say that Assam is where anthropologically, culturally, linguistically, demographically, it is a melting pot of all races, cultures, languages. So before I answer your question, I want to tell you that Assam, Bengal and Odisha, these three states are connected in many ways, in culture, in language, even in food. And my mother, who is a teacher of Sanskrit, she asked me yesterday, why do you go in the morning today? Can't you stay at home one day? So I said, I'm going for ODishaTV event. My mother was a teacher of Sanskrit. She wrote something for me, and she said that you must say this there, that Assam, Bengal and Odisha, these states are geographically related. Their food habits have got similarities, even we find culturally. Assam's Vaishnavite founder Sri Sri Shankardev's Akya Bhavna dialogues are very much like Odia dialogues. Such similarities in these neighboring states proves the dormant unity on our cultural side too. And she also speaks about the Hotriyo dance, which got national recognition a few years back because of its originality. And the Odissi dance also got perfection. There are inherent similarities between Hotriyo dance and Odissi dance. Now, The reason I'm saying this is because you and I, your mother here, your family, and your channel are from a state with a very, very, very long history. History is not what you see in the headlines every day. History is in your heart. The people of Odisha and the people of Assam or the people of Bengal don't need validation by coming on the front pages every day. Litisha, you must believe in authenticity. What you are is what you get. You don't need the media in Delhi to write 2 lines about you. You should be happy in what you are as a state, as a people, as a culture. The reality is that Odisha or Assam have not even been represented in the history books. If you actually study history, except the reference to Ashoka and Kalinga, which is a paragraph reference, where is the reference to Odisha? Similarly, where is the reference to Assam? It's almost as if Assam does not exist. There is now a growing interest. Oh, there was a person called Lachit Borphukan. Oh, they fought the Mughals. Oh, they could not enter. So you have modern day popular historians like my friend Sanjeev Sanyal who talk about it and people say, oh, acha, somebody refers to it in a podcast. But for years, for decades, large parts of the country have been excluded from any conversation. This exclusion is not accidental. It is well thought out. It is in the writing of our history. It's the way we are. And it is in the fact that everything revolves around Delhi. Your news revolves around Delhi. Let me tell you, Letisha, yesterday everybody woke up when there was an unfortunate incident where a 26-year-old boy drives his car into a ditch in Greater Noida. And everybody talks about government apathy because it happened in Noida. How many incidents like this happen all over the country? When I grew up, and I'll just conclude with this, I used to always go back to Assam and every time there would be only one word spoken. Alienation. 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 And my uncle, my father's elder brother, Dinesh Goswami, was a member of parliament from Assam. Every time he would speak in parliament, it would be about royalty, royalty, royalty. We are giving oil to India. Is India giving us royalty? And I remember sitting there hearing my uncle's speeches. The discussions were only about, is the rest of India giving us our due? Are we getting our due? And this anger inside eventually ended up in the Assam agitation. When I was a small child, I used to stand on the steps of my grandfather's house in Guwahati. There would be students lining up with torches saying, in Assamese they would say, Ahoya, Ulaya, which means come out on the streets. So the anger was pent up now. Now there are 2 things in this. Either we can be angry, forever angry. Anger does not solve anything. The feeling of alienation does not solve anything. It just makes you more and more and more angry. I would say, let Odisha be a center of the country in your mind, Litisha. If you are in a media business, media network, there is no reason and no need for Delhi to be the media capital of India. Ask yourself one question. Ask yourself one question. What gives Delhi the right to be the media capital of India? Geography? Does geography matter for the media, Litisha? In today's day of technology, location? Absolutely not. Is CNN based in Washington? No. Is it based in New York? No. For years I ran a network out of a mill in Mumbai. It's in the mind. So when you say, is Odisha getting space in the headlines? I would say you don't need that validation. Getting space in the news is not validation. That is the power that Delhi has over you. Take away that power from Delhi. Don't make the people in Delhi feel so important. Take it away. It does not matter. This year in August, I will be launching Republic Global. And I've already set up a large infrastructure. I've raised capital. And I am completely sure that we can do global news from India. as a test case. As a test case, I had a French media gentleman who came to my campus, and we were talking yesterday, I said, I grew from 3 million to 108 million MAUs in 8 months. Tell me which American network, which French network can do that. Similarly, take the same example applied to Odisha. You do not need the validation of Delhi. What is Delhi media, Letitia? I worked in NDTV. I set up the Times network. I've set up Republic. What is Delhi media? Delhi media is 100 people feeling very important about themselves. Change the logic. Start a national network from Bhubaneswar. Set up a bureau in Delhi. Change the power dynamics. There is nothing stopping you. After this conversation, please go have a conversation in OTV and say, change the dynamics. You know, I went to Lavasa once. I said, what a beautiful city. I think it was made for me because it seems like I can run a network from there. You can run a national network from anywhere. You don't need to run it from Delhi. I am in NCR, but the edge of NCR. If I could, I would go farther away. You do not, in today's day and age, the national media should not be in Delhi. As far away from Delhi as possible will give you more objectivity. Have I given any sensible answer to your question?
I just want to say, hey
Thank you.
Mom, are you listening?
Yeah, she knows me well.
So this is very enlightening, and it gives all us younger generation an edge that we don't need to be in Delhi. And like you said, it's a very powerful statement. Why give Delhi the power? Take that power away from them. You were someone in journalism who defined accountability. Is when you asked questions, you asked for accountability of things that happened and that didn't happen. Who is responsible for asking accountability in the regional spaces? It's leading to what the answer that you've given. Who can ask for accountability in regional spaces? Because the governments that have been for a very long time, they have no sense of law and order. They have no sense of accountability, because hey, it's not making the national headlines, and we can harass the local media and just get our way. So how does a local media based in a particular state maneuver that? I'm saying because you have had that experience in Mumbai, if I may tread that path.
No, please do. So, in media, you must not let the government have any leverage over you. Your support for any government has to be issue-based, based upon your sense of right and wrong. When I launched a channel in Kolkata, at that time, everybody in this Delhi media was celebrating because they thought I was finished. And my bank accounts had been frozen. But as I always say, people who have money have no vision, and people like me with vision have no money. I went to Kolkata with no money. I launched a channel, and Prashant Kishore told me, and I went to meet Prashant Kishore, and he said, you must meet Abhishek, Banerjee. I met Abhishek Banerjee. His room was like a bank locker, because you have to go through many levels and many fingerprints to enter where he sits inside. He must be very expensive. Abhishek said, what do you want? I said, I want nothing. He said, no, but the media here runs on our support. I said, I want no support. And till date, I have not taken 1 rupee from the Mamata government, and I'm running a very, 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 very successful channel in Bengal. I don't need money from the state government. But I cannot say this of any of the other Bengali channels. I run a very, very, very successful channel in Karnataka. And I'm talking about state government specifically. I have almost zero advertising in Karnataka from the Karnataka government. I cannot say that about the other Karnataka channels. Letitia, people think conventionally, and they are fools. They are fools. When I was starting Times Now, my then colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary took me to meet a very famous female lady politician. And she met me, and then she took Srinjoy aside. She said, tell this boy not to try and be an editor, and Prinjoy said, why? He said, "ये बहुत सीधा है. I have proved that you can win the straight way. I don't take money from state governments, but if you want to start with a premise that you want to go with a begging bowl to a state government, help me. They will give you 1 rupee, but make you feel like a beggar. You must take a principled position of lack of dependence on governments which want leverage over you." That's the first and very important point I'm making. Secondly, you must keep your cost structures in such a way that you don't need to depend. The problem with people who run news organizations is they think they are all Shah Jahan. They spend like that and then they go begging for money from governments. I think lack of financial leverage of state governments or any government, central government over you, is the fundamental premise to running an independent media organization. Because Letitia, you must say this to your journalists everywhere. You cannot be independent if you're not financially independent. Today I'm saying this to you because I own Republic. I have only last 4 years been buying shares. Others are selling companies, I'm buying shares. Why am I doing that? Because editorial dependence is absolutely equanimously linked to financial independence. So if you want to be financially independent, only then you'll be editorially independent, because the day will come when you will confront somebody in the government. They should not be able to blackmail you, or your reporters, or your journalists. You should be able to tell your reporters, go freely, do what you want. Because, Letitia, it is not easy. You know, in March, today is 2 years to the day, in February 2024, I was in Kolkata. I had a bereavement in the family. I was working out of there for 2 weeks. I went to my Kolkata office and somebody was looking through footage. And I said, "What's happening?" He said, "No, some interesting footage has come." I saw the footage and I saw some women protesting, and I told them, this is interesting. Because I understand Bengali, I started listening and I saw the anger of the women out there, and that was the start of Sandesh Khali. And over the next 45 days, we made at least 30 to 40 reporters stationed in Sandesh Khali. My reporter got arrested, Letitia. None of the other channels even covered, none of the Delhi channels has the courage to cover it. You have more courage than the media in Delhi. Because, why should we cover? Republic will become popular. They're stupid. But I said, I'll take my reporter out. And the answer is 3 things. I'll give you practical advice as someone older to you. 1, be financially independent. Spend only as much money as you can earn. 3rd, keep a team of lawyers that is bigger than any state governments. Today, Mamata Banerjee does not take me on because she sends 1 lawyer, I send 20. And have the money to pay your legal fees. That's all. Practical advice, no gyan from you. If you do all of this, then you can go and tell your reporter, do the story that you want. There is no dependence of anyone. I've taken on Air India. They've not given me advertising. Let them go to hell. I don't want it. At least when I enter the Indigo plane, now they are scared. Last time the tragedy was, I said that Indigo, why is the central government allowing Turkish planes to fly in India? The Modi government had promised not to allow Turkey entry. But unfortunately, when I went to Raipur, I found myself on a Turkish Airways plane, carried on, after having bought an Indigo ticket. So then I say what is right and wrong. It does not matter who is upset and who is not. At the end of the day, you sleep well if you're answerable to yourself. Thank you.
Which brings me to my next question, is that just when we were speaking about revenue and leverage, journalism is mostly spoken about in terms of courage and ideology. But what would you like to say the journalists out there who don't own media companies but work for media companies, and like you said, your reporter got arrested, and in 2022 ours as well got arrested. And what would you say to those young journalists who are now scared and have become PR machines for different governments? What would you tell them? What advice would you give them to how would they maneuver this? Because they're like, hey, you are the promoter, you will get out. What about us? Even the company may not think about us. So what do we do in that regard? Do we still continue reporting loyally and aggressively and courageously and be at risk of going to the jail or, you know?
As long as you're doing it out of your editorial interest and not out of any interest, other interest. You're talking to a person who's been in jail, so.
Yes.
The thing is that even when I went to jail, this Delhi media didn't report it because they thought Republic will get famous. They're such fools. The fact of the matter is this, Letitia, that it depends what you might get arrested for. It does not matter. You don't become a hero by getting arrested. Let me tell you this. If you're blackmailing someone, there are many channels, many networks who do wrong things. You know, they get involved in real estate transactions. They're not neat. I'm not going to support those people. Recently, there was a story about someone who reported on someone's personal life. You had a case. I don't think you're doing any higher journalism by doing that. If you're doing something which you believe is correct, then stand up for it. If you want to sell out, then don't be a journalist. Don't be a journalist. There are too many people here. Journalists get swayed too much by money and by politicians and by the possibility of wielding influence and bartering that influence for money. I once made a feature reporter, and I was in Times Now, who I thought was incorruptible and very young. I made her a political reporter. Afterwards, I was told that a lady got acres of land in a Congress government in Karnataka. And I did not know how this happened. I cannot imagine how sometimes a person who's honest today becomes dishonest tomorrow. I always say this, if you want to know the true value of a journalist, put money in front of him or her and leave them alone in the room. The true character of a person is tested when you have opportunity to be corrupt. This has to be a clean profession. Anybody, let me tell you, who's working for short-term advantage will get wiped out. Wiped out. This country does not want a PR machinery. This country will reject any PR machinery. You do the stories, people will respond to you. But again, what do you want to get arrested for? I still don't know what I got arrested for, by the way. But the fact of the matter is, I didn't do anything wrong. I came out. Now even Omar Khalid cites my case while seeking bail. So the fact is, depends on what you want to get arrested for.
I actually have many more questions, but I will ask two last questions. One is regarding AI. Your video, Arnab versus AI, has been doing the rounds. Now, AI is entering every newsroom in different capacities. Do you see AI as a force to strengthen journalism or one that risks diluting the credibility?
I mean, I think it's very overrated. AI is like a calculator. I'm pretty sure people were excited about a calculator when it got invented. It's nothing more. And everyone wants to be cool, so they want about the AI and media. See, some jobs like graphics or editing might become quicker. But that's it. That's like 20% of the whole thing. AI is also devious. Do you know, Letitia, AI can lie. There have been tests done in the US where you give a series of protocols to AI, and to get themselves out of a situation, they lie, they falsify facts in order to get themselves out of a situation. My one-hour chat with Blue Machine's AI was not a stunt. It was done live. I learned a lot. I appreciated it a lot. But I think it is capable of subjective and nuanced answers. But in the media context, it will help you reduce your gross costs a little bit if you use it intelligently. And it can serve as a fact checker, perhaps. But it's basically like a, it's like a Wikipedia. Wikipedia didn't replace journalism. AI certainly won't replace journalism. There's a bit of excitement and a lot of people who fraudulently call their companies AI because, in valuation, if you're digital, you get 10x valuation. If you put AI against your name, you become AI. You get 100 times valuation. So everybody wants to start an AI news organization to get the valuation, to make the money. It's all a stunt. Nothing's going to happen. There's no fundamental shift that's happening because of it. I can stick my neck out and tell you. No, it won't. I've examined it at multiple levels. I haven't spoken just like that. I have done deep focus studies and hired certain people to do the job for me. At least for Republic, it won't make much of a difference.
Very interesting. One last question, and this is something that I speak from personal experience. When people see you on television, they think this man is aggressive, he is arrogant, they have all kinds of impression about you. But when I have met you over so many years at different conferences, etc., I remember one time coming to you and saying, "Sir, but you know, I thought I was going to be a moderator, not a panelist, and how am I going to manage this?" And with the calm composure that you educated me, and over the years you have guided me in different events, etc., is a personality that nobody sees out there. How do you manage? Because in real, when I have met you so many times, you're the most calm person. You're somebody who's very, very accommodative. You're very humble. But you know, those things don't come out on the screen, and hence I think the general public out there, especially the young Odias from Odisha, think differently of you. So how do you manage these two personalities? Which one is the OG personality?
When my interview with Rahul Gandhi ended, then Priyanka, who knew me from college, I presume, she set up the interview. She almost organized the whole damn thing. The moment the interview ended, she was sitting there and she says to me, "Arnab, why are you never yourself in an interview?" That is the simple answer to your question. I still didn't understand what Priyanka wanted me to do. The reality is she'd set me up for this thing. I hope she feels fondly about her brother. Question is, what do you expect me to do when I'm on air? You see, I am not in a hostile situation right now. You're a very pleasant personality, Letitia. But if you turn hostile, I will be hostile back. That's all I can say. But, you know, Letitia, I am in a transfix at that moment. I have decided to be in a no bullshit zone when I am on air. And that is all that I've got. You see, all that I work for, all the effort I make, all the organization I've built, all the 1,600 people who work for Republic, all this media enterprise, it will boil to nothing if I am not authentic when I am on air. So that is my, what do you say? It's my me time. You get my point?
Yeah.
That is my me time, and that's only the camera and me.
You said that's like your meditation.
My meditation zone. It's my shower zone. I'm not answerable to anyone then. So it is, you have to be bindas at that point. Because then I feel that my effort in the non-editorial side was worth it. I say this to my journalists. Don't let go of an opportunity. I asked one political editor recently, Aishwarya Kapoor. I said, "Aishwarya, you are in journalism. How well have we covered the story of the 19-year-old girl who got raped in Uttarakhand?" And Aishwarya said, "We did it more than others." I said, "What is the definition of more than others? Why did the rest of the national media not cover the story of a 19-year-old girl who was raped? Her parents are fighting for justice. Army officers are fighting for her. It's a few hundred kilometers from here, but this la-la land of Delhi journalism. One of the three, by the way, people who was caught for the murder is the son of a BJP person. Fingers were pointed. But somewhere this consensus of silence angers me from within. तो मैं पूछता हूँ कि आप पत्रकारिता करते क्यों हो भाई? अपने आप को पत्रकार क्यों कहते हो? मैं सबको पूछ रहा हूँ, दिल्ली की मीडिया को पूछ रहा हूँ कि आपने 19 साल की लड़की को मारा गया और जो होटल में जिसको हाँ उनकी रेप और मर्डर हुई, उस होटल को बुलडोज कर दिया ताकि एविडेंस ना रहे, और सारे लोग इधर दिल्ली की मीडिया फिंगर ऑन द लिप्स करके करना नहीं है ज्यादा भाई, छोटा मोटा रिपोर्टिंग कर दो. अभी उसमें अगर आपको गुस्सा ना आए, I'm saying this in Hindi because I want it to go. If it doesn't make you angry, then what is the point of discussing कि ट्रंप ने क्या किया, वेनेजुएला में क्या हुआ? You see, there is a hypocrisy. हम अपने कन्वीनियंस को देख के काम करते हैं. हम कौन अपसेट हो नहीं हो इसको देखते हैं, परखते हैं. मैं तो कहता हूं अपने जर्नलिस्ट को, मैंने इतना काम किया है, इतनी परिश्रम की है लाइफ में ताकि आपको अपनी एडिटोरियल इंडिपेंडेंस मिले, एंड आई एम वर्किंग फॉर दैट 24/7। अब वो जब मैं सोचता हूं वो 1 घंटा मिलता है, कभी आधा घंटा शो के पहले, मैं बस यही सोचता हूं कि व्हाट इज द थिंग दैट मैटर्स मोस्ट टू द पीपल। और कभी कभी ना, अभी आजकल हैबिट हो गया है सबको, मॉर्निंग डे एंड नाइट पीपल टॉक अबाउट वेनेजुएला एंड ईरान एंड अमेरिका, दे शुड लुक एट व्हाट्स हैपनिंग इन गोंडा and in India. So when I get angry, I speak my mind, and that is my me time for those 2 hours every night. Thank you.
So to conclude, it is safe to say that if the entire media does not contribute together, it's the rate at which the country's growth needs to be accelerated is not going to be accelerated at that.
Growth is not in GDP numbers. Growth is when I said yesterday कि गोंडा में orthopedic ward government hospital में it is full of rats. 150 सेक्टर नोएडा में 27-year-old falls into a ditch. अब हमें consensus of silence कर सकते हैं कि मत बोलिए हमें क्या. As they say, how does it matter to me? It should matter to you. So for me, it is progress to the people. I think the government must think about it. सरकार को सोचनी पड़ेगी कि सिर्फ आंकड़ों में डेवलपमेंट नहीं होती. People are going to ask you questions. Indigo was a manifestation. And now people are relating one incident to the other and saying, is this right? इसको, इन चीजों को आप दबा नहीं सकते. So, अच्छा, lastly, all the media will never be with you, Litisha. If you are in media, there is only one philosophy, akla chalo re. Whether somebody is with you or not doesn't make a difference. Don't seek anyone's approval. Nobody will ever support you. You stand up for what is right. If people support you, it's good. If they don't support you, it's also good.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. That was quite a thought-provoking session, and I would be humbly requesting co-founder MD Odisha Television Network, Jagi Mangat Panda, to kindly to come and join us on the dais and to felicitate our wonderful, wonderful panelist we have with us, none other than Arnab Goswami. A big round of applause can we expect? Because that tali hei jao. निश्चित भाव में आमको थरे भाविबा को मजबूर करिले. अर्नब, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.